What's going on YouTube? My name is FG3000. I'm back in the place to be and welcome to Disgaea RPG. Now before we begin, this game is currently in a closed beta and you guys know how I am. I don't like to get too comfortable playing closed betas, especially considering all of your progress will be wiped at the end. But this does give us an opportunity to kind of see how the game is shaping up thus far, to see what will await us once the game finally hits global launch. Now let's go ahead and take it from the top as we always do, starting off with the heroes that you can collect. Now what some of you may or may not know about FG is that Laharl is my favorite video game main character of all time, right? Not Mario, not Master Chief, not Lara Croft or Nathan Drake or Bayonetta. I was gonna say Beyonce, not Beyonce or Bayonetta. Neither one of them fools. Laharl is my favorite video game main character of all time, and I might as well say my favorite video game duo is Laharl and Edna. I love these characters. Disgaea Part 1 is one of my favorite grid-based strategy RPGs of all time. Part 2 is a little booty. Part 3 is okay. Haven't played Part 4, haven't played Part 5, but I did play that spin-off Prinny game on PSP, and let me tell you, the game almost ruined my life and almost threw my PSP Vita out the window. You want to talk about a hard game, dude? Young FG wasn't ready. So let's go ahead and jump into combat. This is going to be a stamina-based hero collector. So I have 210 out of 100 stamina up here at the top. So let's go ahead and jump in here. It's going to cost me 10 stamina. You can also select a friend companion to go into combat with you. But for whatever reason, all of my friendship companions here, for the most part, have their abilities reduced due to strength limit. And I'm not sure if that's because of how strong I am or how strong they are. And not everything is translated in this version just yet. So just keep that in mind for something once global launch hits. So let's go ahead and jump into combat, my friends. I'll turn off autoplay really quick here. The game goes up to ×4 speed, but as far as combat is concerned, very straightforward, right? You have your basic attacks here. You also have some of these special attacks which require SP. As you go through combat, you will build up SP. So then of course you'll build up that SP to do some of your bigger and stronger attacks as you move along. You can also lift characters as well. If you guys have never played the OG Disgaea games, this might look a little crazy to do stuff like this, but these are all things that were possible inside the grid-based strategy RPG that was Disgaea. I didn't think that monsters could actually lift people. I might have gotten that wrong. I think they couldn't do it in the game. It's been a while. It has definitely been a while. I did play Disgaea 1 again when it came out on mobile. It was $32. I don't know what I was thinking. But now we're fully stacked tower, and now we can do tower attacks if we choose to. This is just, you can basically play the combat as you want. Then I can start throwing them at people, break the tower. It's so silly and it's so dumb. But if you played Disgaea on, like I said, console, all of this stuff is pretty second nature. I think it was a pretty curious choice to not do a grid-based strategy RPG here on mobile and instead do kind of more of a traditional turn-based JRPG style combat system. I don't hate it necessarily because so far all of the grid-based strategy games that I've played on mobile, I don't know, just something about the combat in those games, while really good and really interesting, I don't think it lends itself very well to the mobile kind of daily gameplay flow. I feel like it adds to burnout much faster because, like I said, grid-based strategy RPG combat stages are usually a lot longer than like a turn-based RPG. So I just feel like maybe it just lends to more burnout, but I completely made all of that up. I have no facts to back it up whatsoever as we kind of go through combat here. If someone does die on my team, I can have my little standby unit jump on in here. That is the protagonist from Disgaea 3, which is the last one I played, which was also pretty good. Part 2, definitely did not like it, was not a fan of Part 2 at all. Part 1, obviously, is the legendary OG. Very nice. Now, as far as story is concerned, there is quite a bit of fan service here. So if you played any of the previous games, you're going to see a lot of very familiar characters make a reappearance here in Disgaea RPG. So that's always fun. However, one great thing about this game is that if you don't want to go back in time and play literally hundreds upon hundreds of hours of the previous games to kind of understand the story, the characters, the personality, there is this Netherworld history mode here, which literally takes you through some of the main story segments in those games. Now, Now, I'm not sure that once you defeat Disgaea Hour of Darkness and you've gone through this whole entire, story chapter, does that open up part 2, or is part 2 not in the game yet? I'm not sure, but this is a very awesome feature for new fans of the series that want to get caught up and want to know why these characters are so awesome and so special. Here is your opportunity, and it doesn't start much better than Hour of Darkness, which, like I said, is a fantastic. You also have the Dark Gates, which are going to be your tried and true daily resource grinds here. EXP, here's your gold, and then lastly, some reincarnation materials, which will allow you to reincarnate your characters once they hit certain level milestones. You also have the item world. Once again, a lot of this stuff comes from the OG games here, but the item world allows you to power up your armor and weapons. And then outside of that, the only other gameplay modes that I don't have unlocked at the moment are going to be Conquest Battle and then the Overlord's Tower. And as of right now, there is an event going on for Christmas. Who knows how they're going to handle this once the game hits global launch, but they do have an event structure in the game as well. So there you have it. That is the Dimension Gate, which houses all of the different gameplay modes here in Disgaea RPG. I really like how they did this. The protagonists from part 1, part 2, part 3, 4, and 5. Very, very, very nice. Also, what makes an appearance here in Disgaea RPG is the Dark Assembly, where you can have these senators, basically these politicians, vote on whether you deserve to have, increases and bonuses to your account here. Now, I'm kind of looking at all of these little senators here, and it looks like they all are okay. This guy is slightly negative, but you know what? We should be fine. I can call for a vote, and depending on what the vote is will dictate whether or not I'm going to get different buffs on my account. This is something, like I said, pulled directly out of the console games, which I thought was a very nice touch to add into the game. You also have the Nether Hospital, and when I saw this, I kind of freaked out a little bit, because when you play Disgaea, you do have to heal your heroes and monsters. And I was like, dude, I don't want that to happen in this game. But it looks like this is just based on, as you take damage, as you defeat enemies, you're going to get extra rewards for doing so. So it's not like the hospital from the OG games, which I'm very, very happy not to see here. I don't even know what that would look like in a hero collector. And frankly, I don't want to see it. So let's go ahead and end the video off, as we always do, with a nice little summon session. Like we mentioned before, there is a Christmas summon banner currently in the game, and then there's just like an OG open banner. So let's go ahead and do a nice little summon here. When you first begin the game does allow you to re-roll throughout all the main protagonists. So it's not a full multi-pull, but it's like a single pull, which just only cycles through the popular characters. So right off the bat, I was able to grab myself a Laharl and keep it moving, which I definitely appreciate. All of these characters, if you've played any of the OG games, are literally the sprites ripped directly from that game. Literally the direct sprites, which, I guess I don't have a problem with it, because they've been doing this in almost every single game. Disgaea Part 6 looks fantastic. However, it might make me go out and get a Switch. But yeah, a lot of these graphics are reused, which, like I said, they've been doing quite often throughout this game's lifespan. Looks like these are just going to be a bunch of silvers. Let's go ahead and skip that. Can we get some good ones? Let's do another multi-pull. No point in keeping any of these. Go for a skip here. Nothing much there. Oh, very, very nice. Professor, hello. Very, very cool. And let's do another multi-pull. Now, as far as how I feel about the game thus far, I'm kind of biased because, like I said, I absolutely love this series, the soundtrack, the characters, all the memories. But I will say, I could see this game being a little overwhelming for a lot of people, because there is a ton of different upgrade paths for your characters, right? Because not only do you have your raw levels, once you hit different level caps, you have to reincarnate. You have to equip weapons on your character, and those weapons also gain levels in mastery. You also, as you're doing that, you're gaining different levels of skills and whatnot. You also have to increase your evility level by pumping in dupes to the characters, and your any level to unlock other different skills. And then you have to go over here to the Mal Lab and use characters that have the same exact rarities as duplicates to awaken characters. There's a lot of stuff going on here in the world of Disgaea RPG to power up your characters. It's not that much different than what you saw, like I said, in the OG games and the console games, but it might on the surface seem very overwhelming if you kind of come from other hero collectors that don't start off this complicated, right? A lot of other hero collectors get to that point, but they kind of baby step you into it. Disgaea Disgaea RPG has a lot of different upgrade paths at the very beginning, like global launch, boom. Here's all the different ways you have to power up your character. So it might be a little intimidating for new players, but I guess we'll see once the game comes out. So that will do it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Once again, my name is FG3000. This is a nice little early look at the closed beta at Disgaea RPG, and I will definitely be back once the game hits a global launch. I'm out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.